just looking at almost in awe at all of your marketing available just on your website alone and on YouTube. I saw the logo for Alane Adams Studios, which I assume you've got a whole crew helping you. You've got impressive book trailers. You've got just a trailer for your school visit that's wonderfully professionally edited. You've got celebrities reading your books. My God, you've got Christian Clarence Worley Slater reading the Circus Thief and Rashida Jones I saw, and Wanda Sykes. You've got everybody. You've got online curriculums that teachers can download to use to teach your. So I assume I'm just talking with you. I think esteemed audience has an idea that you have boundless energy. This is you are extremely enthusiastic for literacy and for writing, but even you have got to have a group that helps you produce all of this. So how are you able to come at us on all these fronts?
Well, okay, a lot of it originates with me. There's no question. I have a vision on all things, and I don't ever take no for an answer, and I have a lot of control over the projects that I do. I create all these projects, I drive all these projects, and so that's part of the benefit of being the kind of independent author that I am, is that I have a lot of creative control, and so I'm driven by trying to create assets, resources that teachers and students are going to want to engage with. My primary focus is a literacy advocate. My goal, not just as an author, but just my purpose in life is to get kids excited about reading. The fact that I'm an author is just one part of it. It just helps them relate to me in a way. They relate to my books. I try to write books I think they're going to like, That's my goal, is to make the kids excited about reading, because we know as adults that reading is the one thing that really opens up your imagination into all things possible. Reading teaches us empathy. It teaches us ability to be in someone else's skin, to imagine what it's like to be a boy with magic, or, to just have all these skills, or just how to solve problems. It teaches us all these things. And I think kids forget that. Reading is hard, reading can be boring, we get all these assignments, and my goal is to inspire them and to write books that I think they'll think are fun to read. And so when I think of all the ways to engage with kids, I think of, okay, teachers are the primary way for me to connect with kids, because my books are written for kids. They're still in school, and connecting with teachers. Teachers need so much support. Teachers need so much help. They are given so little. They've been tasked with teaching remotely, as an example, right? We just all of a sudden, March 13th last year, we're teaching remote. A lot of teachers can't even afford Wi-Fi at home. They don't have a beautiful, nice, computer like I have. They don't have the resource. They were given nothing, and they were expected to just pull magic out of the air. A lot of teachers were teaching with their iPhones, trying to rig cameras and rig, I don't think anybody really understands what burden teachers really shouldered over the last year in trying to, respond and educate something that had never been done in the history of the world, teaching remote like this with a mass amount of students. And I give them a lot of credit. But even beyond that, teachers are generally short funded. They don't have resources in the classroom, especially in low-income areas. They don't have new books. I've been to so many schools that haven't had a new book funded by the district in years, and the books are tattered and worn, and so it's our job, my job, my foundation's job, to really try to support these teachers and come up with resources for them. So anytime I create an asset like a book, I think of all the ways I can support the teacher in using that book in the classroom, because that's how you can help teachers, right? So when the pandemic started, for example, for The Blue Witch, which is one of my favorite books, we just did a read-along. It's very low budget compared to a lot of stuff I do, but it was very quick. It was a sudden response. Okay, we got a pandemic. Okay, let's do a read-along. Teachers can play this in the classroom. Let's do I did 85 pages of worksheets. Now, I did those worksheets, right? Because that's what I do. I love thinking of ways to connect my book, my story with teachers, make it something that they can use. Teachers to this day, a year later now, they love using the Blue Witch read-along. The kids love reading along. They love the exercises. They think I'm a wannabe teacher. They think I just somehow lied about my past, and I must have been a teacher in the past, because I come up with all these really fun worksheets. So a lot of it's me, but yeah, I do have, you know, it's really important to hire the right people, to work with the right people. I do have a creative director, I call him my chief creative officer, and I just tell him to make things happen. And he's like a project manager, and he's really talented, and he just goes out and whatever I say I want, he makes happen. He finds the right people. And I have a lot of great artwork, which really helps. I have a beautiful artist, Jonathan Stroh, who's done all the artwork for my series. So when you look at like my book trailers, he did all the artwork for my Orkney series, excuse me. When you look at the book trailers that you talked about, that's beautiful artwork, that was all done, you know, for the books. And we just took it and we made it animate, you know, we just played with it and we made it, and my team animated it and added music and sound effects, and you hire voiceovers, and there's just no end to what you can do if you don't say no, if you just say yes, let's make that happen. And that's how the Between the Pages, I mean, honestly, when you look at the opening to Between the Pages, you think you're in a Harry Potter movie, and people look at that and they just go, oh, wow, you did that for kids? What do you charge? I go, well, I don't charge. Are you kidding? That's not my model. I go, well, what's your business model? There's no business model. Come on. This is for the kids. This is for teachers. This is for them to love reading as much as I do. Come on, this is fun. This is fun stuff, you know? And I'm just fortunate to be able to do that through my foundation and really, you know, create that impact, that long-term impact you hope that kids come away from thinking, wow, that was really cool, that Alane. And then I Zoom, you know, I Zoom all the time with the class. I Zoomed this morning for an hour and a half with a class. It was a class of 30 kids in Pennsylvania. And they had gone through the program and they were reading some of the books, and each one had a beautiful, brilliant question. And they were like, well, what, do you need to go after 30 minutes? You know, I go, nah. I got time. Hour and a half. We were on Zoom for an hour and a half. I got every one of their questions answered. And that's just, you know, that's a joy for me. That's a joy right there. That's a joy, you know, knowing that you were able to give those kids time. They're never going to forget that they had, you know, not only saw me in that Between the Pages video series, but then I came in their classroom and I inspired them all, encouraged them all to become writers themselves and readers. And I think it's something that they're never going to forget. And that is its own reward. Like, that's its own reward, knowing that you can, you know, really, not to toot my own horn, but, you know, it's just really gratifying to know that I am in a position. This is my job, Rob. This is what I do. What a fun job, right? I am really happy, right? So.